how the parotid gland, it is enclosed in this capsule, and which fossa will form the capsule for the parotid gland. For the parotid gland, there are two capsules, true capsule and the false capsule. But the capsule that we discussed, that means this false capsule, which is the derivative of the investing layer of the deep cervical fossa. Investing layer of the deep cervical fossa. Okay. Now what is this true capsule? The true capsule is the areolar tissues, the fibrous tissues around the just adherent to the parotid gland. It will form the true capsule for the gland, and the false capsule, it is the derivative of what? Of the investing layer of the deep cervical fossa. And what is the beauty of this fossa? It splits. Where this fossa splits to enclose the gland. So once this fossa it is splitting, so it is divided into a superficial lamina as well as a deep lamina, isn't it? Whenever anything splits, suppose this is the fossa, when it will split into two lamina, this is the superficial and this is the deep lamina, and this both it will enclose the parotid gland, and this is the derivative of the investing layer of the deep cervical fossa. Now first of all, you know what is the site where this investing layer of the deep cervical fossa it is splitting. Look here. This is the angle of the mandible here, and this is the mastoid process. So investing layer of the deep cervical fossa, this is the base of the mandible. It is attached on the base. Here there is no bony part. Here this fossa will split to enclose the parotid gland and the deep lamina. So the superficial lamina of this parotid fascia, you can say it is thick and it is almost adherent to the substance of the parotid gland, and some part of the superficial fossa or the lamina, it also attached to the endomysium of this masseteric muscle. What is there? There is the masseteric muscle anterior relation of this gland. So the lamina, superficial lamina of this parotid fossa, above it is attached, what is this? This is the zygomatic arch. This is the zygomatic arch. Above it is attached here, and this lamina it is very thick and it is attached to the substance of the gland, and anteriorly it adheres with the endomysium of the masseteric and forms a common fascia which is known as the very important question, parotidomasseteric fossa. Sometimes you may be asked what is parotidomasseteric fossa. Okay, the same superficial lamina of this investing layer of the deep cervical fossa, it is also adherent to the endomysium of the masseteric muscles. That's why it is known as combinedly the parotidomasseteric fossa. It is very thick. Just opposite the inner lamina, the deep lamina you can say, it is attached to the where the tympanic plate here, tympanic plate, as well as the styloid process of the temporal bone, isn't it? Medially there is the styloid process as well as the external auditory meatus. So deep lamina it is thin and it is attached to these two bony points here, and the part of this deep lamina which extends, look here very carefully, the part of this deep lamina which extends between this angle of the mandible up to the styloid process here like this, you will read the when the temporomandibular joint accessory ligament, this is the ligament here which is dense part of this investing layer of the deep cervical fossa. Now this fossa, this term will be known as the stylomandibular ligament. That means the part of this deep lamina which is thickened in between the styloid process medially and the angle of the mandible laterally, it is known as the stylomandibular ligament. Now what are the parts? Now the capsule, it is very important. external or the superficial lamina, it is thick, and the deep lamina it is thin. Okay, deep lamina gives the stylomandibular ligament. Okay, and this it is given by the upper lamina or the superficial lamina. Now the character, just moving forward, the character of this parotid fossa, it is unyielding, can't stretch it. So unyielding nature, a very important point. Unyielding nature of this parotid fossa. That's why the bumps, the inflammation of the parotid gland is very painful. We will discuss here after the relations of the surfaces. Now, relations of the parotid gland. We have discussed all the parts, the parotid fascia, where it is situated. Now, move towards I am drawing the horizontal section of which side? This is the right parotid gland, so right side. This is the skin, okay? Skin. Then comes the superficial fossa. Just below the skin, what is the superficial fossa? In the superficial fossa, what is present? Anyone here? Muscle is there. Platysma. Platysma muscle is there. It is subcutaneous. Mind it. Just below the, whenever you are asked in the examination, if the examiner misguides you, tell me where the platysma is present. You will never say it is situated deep to the deep fossa. It is present in the superficial fossa, just below the skin. That is the platysma. In the skin, there are some nerves present. Okay, some nerves are present. Can you name this nerve which is present over the skin of this parotid gland? Which nerve? This is the great auricular nerve. Which nerve is there? Great auricular nerve it is. The root value of great auricular nerve it is C2 and C3. So in this fossa, the skin, just below the skin, in the skin there is the great branches of the great auricular nerve present, and also the superficial group of the lymph nodes. Which type of lymph nodes? The superficial group of lymph nodes, preauricular group of the lymph nodes are present in the superficial, just above this parotid fossa. Now comes the parotid fossa. Look here, this is the parotid fossa. This blue line, this is the parotid fossa. Okay, so this is the parotid fossa. Now the deep, this is the superficial group of lymph nodes. In this, and after that there is the gland. This is the parts of the gland, and the gland it is like this. Okay, and it is like this. This is the cut section, horizontal section of the right sided parotid gland. So this will be the anterior part, anterior. This will be the posterior. This will be the lateral, and this will be the medial. First, you understand. If I am standing here, so my right parotid gland, if I give the horizontal incision like this, then what should be the structure from superficial or from the outer to inner side? So this I have discussed the skin, the superficial fossa, the platysma there, the great auricular nerve branches are there. Then comes the deep fossa, here the substance of the parotid gland it is, and in this substance, the superficial surface. Which surface it is superficial? That is the lateral surface or the superficial surface. There are the deeper sets of the lymph nodes which are present here. Okay, these are the lymph nodes, deeper set of the lymph nodes which will drain the parotid gland. So this is the structure. Now, what are the rest of the structures here? This is the anterior border. This is the anterior border. Look here. This is the anterior border. That means it is this one. This one. Anterior border. Cut section, it is this part. This one is the posterior border. Okay. This is the posterior border. This one. This is the medial border. This is the superolateral surface or the superficial surface. Okay. Now the rest. Now this from here to here, the whole of this is the anteromedial surface. Just opposite this would be the posteromedial surface. Okay. Isn't it? First you make it clear in the mind then you will be able to relate the structures which are present here. So this could be the anteromedial surface and this is the posteromedial surface. Okay. Now one by one. Look here. Anteriorly I have said there is the posterior border of this ramus and the muscles which are attached over here. So we will draw a diagram here. Here it is related and this part it is intended molded by the posterior border of the ramus. So this is the mandible. This is the mandible. Okay. And laterally this is the outer aspect. So which muscle it is attached here? Which muscle will be attached here? Laterally and medially. This is the medial pterygoid. Medially, this is the medial pterygoid muscles we have discussed in the parotid pit, and laterally, here it is the which muscle? Masseter. Laterally, here it is the masseter. Okay, lateral side of this you get the masseteric muscle and medially it is the medial pterygoid. So this anteromedial surface, anteriorly it is related with this very important structure here, the posterior border of the ramus of the mandible and the two structures which are attached here. Now just opposite this part, posteromedial surface, again there is a bone here. Which bone is here? That is the mastoid process. Which bone is this? Mastoid process. Okay. Again two muscles are attached on this bony part, mastoid process. Again two muscles are attached laterally and medially. Laterally, what is that? It is the sternocleidomastoid muscle. This one, laterally it is the sternocleidomastoid muscle and medially it is the posterior belly of the digastric muscle. Isn't it? Digastric muscle. Posteromedial relation, it is very important. Why? Because content of this parotid gland, external carotid artery, the retromandibular vein and the facial nerve, through external carotid artery and the facial nerve, it opts this surface to come inside the substance of the parotid gland. Isn't it? Okay. Now you will see where it is present. Look here. Two bony parts, it is related. Again towards the medial side, again a bony part it is here, which I have said, that is the styloid process. What is this? This is the styloid process. Okay. Now on this styloid process, three important muscles are attached. Okay. This is the medial aspect. So wall of the pharynx. What is this? This is the pharynx here. This is the wall of the pharynx. So on this styloid process, three muscles are attached which are in relation with the posteromedial surface. Okay. So what are those muscles? Look here. Medial side, there will be the Attachment of which muscle? On the styloid process. Because this is the cut section, that's why it is in the tubular form. That is the stylophalangeus muscle. SP. SP stands for stylophalangeus muscle. From the tip anteriorly and the laterally, what are the muscles? One is styloglossus. This is the styloglossus. That means originating from the styloid process up to the tongue. And this is the stylohyoid, originating from the styloid process and where it is going to be inserted over the hyoid bone. Okay, so three muscles, and these all together sometimes you are asked styloid apparatus. Matlab the styloid process of the temporal bone and the structures which are related, whether the muscles, the nerves, the arteries, will be together known as collectively the styloid apparatus. You will read in detail. So again, this is the styloid process and the muscles which are attached. Now what other structures are in relation with this surface? The internal carotid artery.